Welcome, everyone. It's 8:30 p.m. here in Italy, but this should be a good timing for people from India, maybe also in the USA, because maybe it's late there, maybe a bit too late. Almost midnight. So let's start with the live streams today, and let's start with this one with Hrittik, my friend, and we have hey there,
I'm
GM,
Francisco.
GM. I can't pronounce this name. I see that you jump in the streams, and I'm glad for that. Let me try. Pay three, pay KL. I don't know. It's Hi, Julia.
Hi,
Francesco, make a
Shreya.
roadmap on DevOps like that. At 8:30 a.m. Boom. No, we can talk about this. So Justin, please stay. It's Milry 13. Okay, I do my best as well. So
Communicator news.
okay, so it seems that it seems a good timing to do this. Hey Chandan, hello. Just Patrick. Patrick. Okay, Patrick. It's easier. Okay, where are you from? Because I want to know if this is a good timing to make a live stream. So where are you from? Come on. Where are you from? And do you know where I'm from? Nice, nice, nice. I'm super happy to do this, Hrittik, with you. And how are you? How are you? Hrittik is a student, right? Or also
Yeah,
software
yeah.
engineer? Yeah,
I'm a student.
future software engineer. It's super talented. Please follow him. We have some links in description. So it's very great to do this live stream with him. We'll talk a bit about him, and then we'll get started. And we have an idea on what we will do today. So, Ritik, how are you? Up
Yeah,
gets you. Up gets you.
I'm
Ah,
doing very good. It's a vacation time right now here, and yeah,
nice.
just learning Kubernetes and all those things. So
Perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
people who don't know me. I'm Hrittik Roy, and I'm from India. I'm a Portainer advocate, and I also lead content creation at a German firm called P3R. So my journey is very new. I started with Kubernetes and Docker just a year ago, and from that I built up. And right now I'm using Kubernetes to deploy applications and all those things. So yeah, we are building things and we are creating content around that. So today's event would be about Portainer. So let's build up the noise about that.
Yeah,
So
so so maybe not everyone on this stream they know exactly what it is, what we are going to do. So we have time. So maybe it would be better like to start. Maybe we can talk a bit about containerization, why Portainer exists. By the way, I've also interviewed the CEO of Portainer. We have done already another live stream with the team. Maybe I'll post this. I'll put this in the description later. So hey there. Sankit or Sanket. No, no, Sankit. I try Sankit. Sankit Ghosh.
yeah,
I know what bye means, brother. It means, right. Okay, so let's start by, if you want, theoretically, I can do this by saying why these sort of things they exist, the DevOps, the containerization. These are not like just buzzword, but it literally I can spell today. It literally changed the way of our approach when we want to deploy something. So we went from just with virtual machines 20, 10 years ago, and now we have all this idea of containers. So basically, we are trying to do something in a more lightweight way. And at the end of the day, it's all about speed and cost. So money and time. And this is what we are always craving for. So this is also when you want to deploy something. So nice. From which resources you learned C language? I've tried. To be honest, I've tried the C language just in the university. I don't know about you,
yeah,
Ritik.
me too. I'm also learning from university only right now. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't used any resources as of now, just university thing.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I will
C,
post some resources on my Twitter feed if you want to look through that.
yeah, and C is a super powerful language because once you try
Mm,
C, every other language it seems easy.
yeah, that's the
Right.
advantage of trying something hard.
Yes, absolutely. Malloc and all that weird stuff. Hmm.
For my work,
Okay.
I use content creation. So one of the most important problems I face is to deploy environments quickly. So sometimes I use Docker, sometimes I use Kubernetes, sometimes I use Swarms to create things. But the problem right now is like you can't remember all of the commands about all of the things. For example, if you are using Docker, then you can't remember the Kubernetes command all of the time. So there comes a need for some GUI and which has a streamlined interface. So if it's open source and if it's free, the better. So while I was exploring all those things, I found a tool called Portainer, and
Hmm.
that's all about we will go on talk today. So,
Exactly.
my,
So and yeah, and so Portainer has this GUI, or this graphic user interface, and let
yeah,
me tell you that it's also useful if you want to show something. Because, for example, I've done a presentation for the European Space Agency. By the way, today I have the European Space Agency T-shirt. I've used the Portainer to show in a demo.
yeah,
They understood everything. They didn't understand a word before me trying to explain all things with. It was like with something with Docker Swarm, something complicated. When I showed with Portainer, that was easy for them because okay, so they got an idea. So it's also great to make presentations if you want to make a video. And yes,
yeah.
so mhm,
We will deploy an application today about that, like how to deploy applications easily using Portainer. When I started with Portainer, it was all about cleaning Docker images. Like you can use Docker run, but it is easy to use and click GUI and delete the images. So that's where I started with Portainer. And then we went and then we learned Kubernetes using Portainer because Kubernetes is very complicated. It has a lot of features and it has a lot of options and configurations. If you go and learn everything using documentation or some course and you want to try that out, you don't remember everything at once. So a GUI helps you to do that, and also it helps you to simplify deployment using production or anything else. So yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about today, like how to simplify, and we will also deploy an applications at the end. So first things first, let's go to the
perfect,
dashboard. And
nice.
Francisco has a good blog on how to install Docker, put in on Docker, which you can read.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Okay. Okay. Is this the screen that you're sharing?
yeah,
You are screening now. You're sharing this with Portainer.io, centralized service delivery platform for containerized apps applications,
yeah.
and also like the
So
logo.
yeah, so this is Portainer, which you can read about, but this is a very hands-on demo, which we'll be going through today. So yeah,
Mhm.
this is a Portainer
Maybe we
dashboard,
can
which I'm
switch
on.
to this format. Maybe this is better for the video. Nice,
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah,
So okay, so let's pretend that we have never seen this in our life. So, what would you say to
yeah,
us? So you see this. So this is a web GUI, and I see something
yeah.
on the left. I see a symbol, which probably I recognize. But let's try to explain from scratch because I think this is what some people in the live stream. By the way, if you're going too slow or too fast, just tell us. But let's try to go very very slow. Hey,
Okay.
Avnish. There we go. He is
I
super
have an issue.
talented. 13 years old. He already knows Docker and other stuff. it's it's incredible, incredible. Okay, so yeah, please explain to me something in this. I don't know. Is the font too small? Maybe you can increase by one. Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's better. No,
Yeah,
maybe that's too much. Yeah. Okay. Looks
yeah.
fine.
This
Looks
is
fine.
good. Yeah.
How's it
So
going? There's stuff to do
I have
today,
an
by the way.
issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Nice.
this is environments. Environments are like your Docker environment, your Kubernetes environment, and your all those
You will.
environments. So you can
Hmm.
add a lot of environments in your Portainer GUI so that you can manage all the things together. Like this is my Kubernetes, but you can add your Docker endpoint and all those endpoint here. So let's go through the architecture real quick so that we can understand how Portainer works. So this is your server, and this is a GUI. This GUI is the following thing, and then you can add a lot of agents like your ACI agent, your Docker standalone agent, your Docker Swarm, and all those things. It will be very helpful for you to manage everything together. But right now, this is a limited demo surrounding Kubernetes. So we are using a Kubernetes cluster and we will manage our Kubernetes cluster. We will deploy applications over here. So environments basically are things, and like your Docker environment, your Kubernetes environment, which you can manage using Portainer. And it's very helpful because you can add a couple of environments over there, and you don't have to deploy the application everywhere, so that it's complicated. Like you have one environment and you can manage everything. Like it's a very streamlined process. So this
Yes.
is the thing. And when we go into the local cluster, which we are
Yes.
running, and our partner is over there,
Click here.
so, so we see the URL for that and tags, and we see all the following things deployments over there. So namespace are like a folder thing in which you can create your resources and keep them. It's very useful so that you can manage a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Applications are your deployments, configurations are the configurations for the deployment, and
Mm-hmm.
volumes to store data. So for
Nice.
example, there are five namespaces, but here you can see only one. The reason is because there are four default namespaces which are the Kubernetes default, which you can't see because that's system one and you don't need to see, which is very helpful for me because I want to see only the namespaces which I want to create and have
Mm-hmm.
created and want to deploy things over there. So yeah. So again, yeah.
This is nice.
So
Yeah.
hmm,
Mm-hmm.
then
Yes. Go go. Perfect.
so
Perfect.
yeah. So then, namespaces are the folders as I told. And if you want to create a namespace, there is a command which you can use, or you can create using manifest. So the best part of Portainer here is right. You can create a namespace, and you can. This is a decline name part. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. You can create a namespace. Suppose I'm creating a namespace called my project only, and then you can limit the amount of storage your namespace is using, so that
Mm-hmm.
you can create resources and keep the specific amount of resources over there so that you don't overuse a resource. This is very helpful because if you have a lot of applications and you have a lot of namespaces, you want to budget things, and this is a very intuitive GUI. If you want to use that using command line, it's complicated, so you can just click a button and your namespace is created over here. And see, this namespace has been created. So the and now you can give
Nice.
access to people with the following namespaces so that they have limited access. So it works as a RBAC role based access control, which is very helpful when you have big user teams because one of the policies in DevOps is like give limited amount of access to people. So that's the way to go. Like if you have a team and you can create access so that they can have a limited access.
Nice. Let
The
me.
next part about Portainer is like you can deploy applications very easily. For example, we have created a small demo which we will
Mm-hmm.
go and deploy, and you don't need to know about DevOps, Kubernetes, and Twitter to deploy this. It's
Yeah.
very intuitive, and you can do that very
Or
easily.
we Yeah, or we can say you can get started, and then of course it's the more you know, the better. But sometimes the DevOps world is so big that maybe you don't need to know
Yeah.
everything. You don't need to know Ansible, Istio, other stuff, service mesh. It depends on when you want to where to want to specialize. As you don't
Yeah.
need to know all the front end frameworks or on all the parts or all the CSS frameworks. You just need can let me just please drop a follow to Hrittik on Twitter. Um, so it's huge because when you want to learn something, especially there is the famous CNCF table. There are so many tools
Yeah.
that you get
CNCF
really
landscape.
overwhelmed. I got Kunal some days ago, by the way, and it's overwhelming. So it depends on your needs. So this is very user friendly and it's not intimidating to get started. You but this is also powerful. So it's not just an interface. You can do stuff with that. That's the good part. Let's say, right?
And production applications are also deployed using this, so it's a very powerful thing, as Francisco told. So this is a small demo which we will deploy on this using Portainer, and it's very easy. and very simple. So like namespaces, as I told, is our folder. So the default namespaces, we will deploy that over there. And as we know, we should have a name for an applications. So for example, let's keep the application name as Portainer only, Portainer demo. Now Portainer has a very easy way to deploy applications which are hosted on GitHub repository. The complicated way is to using Argo CD, but Portainer provides a very simple, intuitive thing. For example, we can click copy the link, and here's a sample tutorial if you want to go through that, like if you when you are free. So you can just click and add the GitHub repository URL over here, and then there's a repository reference. So right now, as we know, the main branch for all the projects in GitHub is main, but it was master couple of weeks and months ago. So you can just copy this thing and add
Mhm.
it over here so that people like the Portainer UI understands that we are targeting the main branch and not the master branch. And then we have to add the Docker Compose path or maybe the Kubernetes path. So here we are deploying a Kubernetes application. So let's use the Kubernetes path. So it's a small YAML which deploys all the things without you writing anything imperatively. So yeah, we have this. And as we know, this project repository is public and this doesn't need any authentication for you to go through. But
It
suppose you
kind
have a
of,
production,
yeah.
yeah. If you
Sorry,
have
sorry. I
production
mean,
app,
oh,
yeah. If you have production application and it's in private repository, Portainer has an option so that you can authenticate. But as it's public, you don't need authentication. And the best part about this is like if you change something over there, Portainer will go through this and um, fetch that in regular intervals so that it's updated in your application. And right now you learn GitOps. So GitOps is a principle in which your application trusts your GitHub repository or some another repository and uses changes over there to get uploaded onto the real life application. And then you just click on the deploy button and this thing would be deployed very quickly.
yeah. So nice. This is nice. And as you can see, there are many things: stack, namespace, image. So load balancer. We can make a whole series about load balancers. But
Yeah,
uh, can we take a look at the example application that we can
yeah,
deploy? Then we want to step maybe in the new 5 nodes feature, right?
yeah.
For
So
Portainer microservice.
let's
Hmm.
once go through the application we deployed. So right, if you use the kubectl CLI, then you can just go and click here, and you can see the applications you have deployed.
Nice. What is the kubectl CLI?
Okay, so kubectl is used to manage your Kubernetes cluster. So it talks with the Kubernetes API so that you can find and get a command line interface to manage your Kubernetes cluster because you need something to manage. So Portainer also talks with the API and helps you to manage the thing, and kubectl also applies. So if you are somewhat geek and wants to use the shell to manage, you can do this, or you can just click over here and you can see your application has been deployed. So you can see there's a deployment succeeded button and you have successfully deployed your first application so easily using Kubernetes. And yeah, that's a big achievement. Like I
Nice.
took around 5 6 months to learn this thing, but here you can just do that very easily without any overheads.
Yeah, it's a different way of learning something. Yeah, we are more visual um, person people sometimes. So having maybe an idea, it's like I like to make the difference. I'm that old that I am older than Windows, we can say. So when I was like 12 or 13, there was not no a graphic user interface for operating systems. We just had like what now we call the command prompt on Windows. It was the operating system, so we had just that. But that was, for example, I'm very comfortable with using that. So I can understand that maybe now And there are many the new generations. I start to talk like an old man, but the new generations have never seen, maybe they've never seen a terminal in their lives, in their life, if they are not into tech. Before that, even people without a tech background, there was not that much tech. If they were using a computer, I have also a Commodore 64. I use that. They were very very confident with that, because that's normal. Windows, it was strange the first time. It was shocking coming from but at the end of the day, we are doing the same commands, but it's more intuitive. Maybe it's also less boring in a live stream. So I've also started to use this, of course, during the live streams. And yes, so yes, please go on,
And one of the
Manish.
thing is like
You are very
after you have put in the same commands a couple of times in a day, it becomes very boring. Like if you are writing get pods every time you are opening your cluster, it gets boring. Sometimes just the refresh button helps you to do the thing. So yeah, I find this very intuitive and
Mhm.
easy for me because I don't have to write the same commands like 1,000 times in a day. So yeah,
Yes. It's yeah, for me, both of the you need both of them. So
yeah, both of them
it's
are.
this is the best thing. For example, you can create, for example, in a Unix shell, you can create a new file using the touch command, and you can use just click create. Sometimes in my tutorials, it depends. If I'm close, for example, if I'm already checking on Visual Studio Code, I just click a new file. Sometimes I go on the command line, I use the touch command. It depends on what you're doing in that moment. So for
Yeah.
sure, yes, nice. This looks great.
And yeah, our
Yes.
deployment succeeded. This is a link which you want. If you want, you can go and it's on the
Let me.
description even.
Yeah, let me put the link. Maybe we have already put that.
Yeah, we have already put that on the
Nice.
description.
Let's check if that works. Sometimes I put some broken links. Uh, yes, but what
So
about the app itself? Because I see that this is a Flask application,
yeah, it's a simple
a
Flask
minim, a
application,
minimal Flask application.
a minimal Flask application with HTML. So if you want to
Nice,
explore the application, so whenever you do a pull request over this, so the application just uses that pull request and creates a Docker image
nice.
which Portainer pulls from the image per 5 minutes as it's there over the thing,
Yes,
and then it deploys the application. So it just keeps on checking if there is some new deployment over there or not, and it's
yes. If you,
easy. Like you
yes,
don't,
if you can drop a star, that will be amazing.
yeah,
Hmm.
that will be amazing. Next, we have Helm. So Helm is a package manager. So it's like your APT, like or your Play Store, in which you have all the packages. But here we don't have packages; we have applications. So
Mm.
suppose you want to deploy your Cassandra or Cert Manager or anything like that, you can just go and click here. Like suppose we are deploying Cert Manager only,
Mm-hmm.
and it selects, and then you have to click a name like for Cert Manager, and then you can click on install. The problem with Helm is like you have to add a lot of description and all those things while you are installing that for the first time. But Portainer is very intuitive on this and it does the work very easily. So to remember what Helm is, it's just a package manager
Mm-hmm.
for Kubernetes.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Riti, but we have a question. Can you create a Docker image via GitHub Actions?
Yeah, it's doing the thing only. So you can find the
Sorry,
YAML
let me
file
put
in
it
my
here.
repository and
Mm-hmm.
it just creates the thing. Like for example, whenever we push into the main branch, it just check out the repository, builds the following thing, logins using my Docker username and token, which is stored in the GitHub secrets, and then pushes the following thing into the following repository.
Nice.
Yeah, it
Nice.
happens. You can
Yeah,
change
this is a good
all.
idea instead of putting your password in the clean text in the public repository, right?
Yeah, for sure. So if you can go into the logs and you can find how those things happen. Yeah, for example. Yeah, it takes very like 45 seconds to do all those steps, and it happens very easily. So those are the steps. And once you have done, your image has been there. So yeah,
Right.
then
Okay. Yeah. Can we take maybe can you guide us to take a look at these all or some of them in this dashboard? So let's try if you want. I
yeah,
propose you to to maybe just take a look at some commands, what's inside of them. So if you want any, if you have any question, we can you can drop them. So we have some time. So let's try to take a look. I see that there are, for example, my admin, my account, also the all the commands on the left. We can talk a bit about volumes. So let's
yeah.
take a
Let's
look.
take a complete
Yeah.
overview. Machine.
I don't know if
I
Docker
don't.
was installed on the virtual GitHub Action machine. Mm, I think
Yeah,
yes.
yes. Or else, how could that be built,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah,
yeah, install. So let's
let's
uh,
take a look.
okay,
Yes.
yeah. So your kubectl shell is like a shell in which, like, if you are a terminal friendly human being and you want to use that shell, then you can use that to manage your Kubernetes cluster. So suppose you want to give your access to your friend. Suppose I want to give my Kubernetes clusters access to Francisco so that he can deploy applications over there. So here comes the need for kubeconfig. So kubeconfig helps you with that, so that you can give your access to the following application. Dashboard is there so that you can manage all the things together.
Mm-hmm.
Custom templates are there so that custom templates help you to deploy your same application again. Suppose we deployed this application and you want to deploy the application again, then there comes the need for custom templates so that you don't have to write the manifest again and again. It's very repetitive. Can you give me a 1 minute, Francisco? Someone
Yes,
at the
yes,
door.
sure. No worries. No worries. I'll just remove you. Okay. So today we are doing this with Hrittik. Maybe in the future we will also keep doing something with Portainer. Let me. He's already back. You have been super fast. I was
Yeah,
about to create another live stream inside the live stream, but you were the first. Nice, nice.
yeah. And as we saw, Helm, it's a package manager. And applications are the applications like the GitOps application which we just deployed over
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. Just to have you to give you a raw idea, it's like npm for Node or pip
Yeah,
for Docker.
exactly.
So it's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
exactly like that, but it's just to have an idea of what is that. It's more or less it works. Of course, we are talking about images and clusters. And not about npm packages, but just to have an idea, it's interesting. Like GitHub and Docker Hub, it's interesting to have an idea of what's going on. Um, Time Edo went away for 2 seconds on daily dev stream. Yeah, yeah, and I don't know why,
Happens.
because yeah, if you are on a live stream, you can't leave. Even if your house is set on fire, you can't leave your live stream, right? There was a funny video of an famous Italian journalist. During a live stream, there was it's not that funny to be honest. He had like a earthquake, and he just dropped on the live stream with his underwear. So it's a good
Yeah, I've
idea
seen the video.
it's a good idea to have your pants on during a live stream. They don't have to be long, but it's a good idea to have them. Nice, perfect. Let's keep going. Let's take a look this because now we are getting more familiar with this. Thank
Yeah,
you for staying here. Avnish is a
yeah.
superstar. Hmm.
So next we have config mag and secrets. Like for example, we store the secrets for our application over here so that people don't get our user ID and password. We can do the same on Kubernetes. And config map and secrets help us to do that intuitively without using the command line, because the thing is a lot of commands are there, and I prefer just going and clicking two things and creating that thing.
Hmm.
So and
Yeah.
the volumes, like it stores the data, as we know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Create from manifest volume storage. Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, have you seen this application in action, by the way, or not yet?
Which application?
This example application, like the.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we have deployed that, right?
Nice. Is this
It's
one?
just
Yeah,
a yeah. It's just you can also everyone can access this application. I can send that over here.
it is a
Um,
public IP.
yeah, yeah, it's public. We have it will be up for a couple of hours only,
Mm-hmm.
and then we will put that down. But
Uh,
right now, anyone can
Here,
access this. Yeah.
first of all, let me see. Yeah, you can deploy this here. You can check this here. If you also leave a like on the video in the meanwhile, that will be awesome. This is a nightbot. Yeah. By
Yeah.
the way, yeah, you should check this. This is very good if you are a live streamer. If you want to create videos with YouTube or Twitch, check Nightbot. This is not a promotion, of course. Yes, this is the public IP and it works. So this is very nice. Yes, it's very cool. Yeah, let's keep going. I see here memory reservation and CPU reservation.
Okay.
15%,
Up and now
25%. Interesting.
yeah, so right now when you have a lot of application, it becomes very hard for you to see how much storage and how much reservation of your CPU has been used. So you can deploy Prometheus, you can deploy Grafana to monitor that. But then there comes a complication that they will also take some memory from your CPU. When you have Portainer, then you can just go and click on the memory reservation and you can see how much memory you have. Because if your CPU has been used to the fullest, then your application may have higher load times, and which is not ideal. So yeah, you can have a cluster information right now baked on to the following application, Portainer, and you can see all those things. Like we have a 15% memory reservation. Like our RAM has been used just for the 15%, which is very less, and CPU reservation is only 25%. So our throughput and CPU are also very less. So when you add more application, you can see all those things together. Yeah,
Nice. Second, let me put this here. Let me put this here. Nice. Let's see. Community Portainer. Let me also share your. This project is on your GitHub account, right? So let me
yeah,
share
yeah,
also
yeah.
your GitHub account. When are you going to start your YouTube channel, Hrittik, or do you have one?
Yeah, I have a one. It's very small. Like it has
Nice,
245 subscribers around.
nice.
Yeah.
You know that 2022 will be your year. Do you know that?
Oh, I never knew that. It means a lot.
That would be awesome. Yeah, yeah. It's nice. It's nice. Have you ever done any live streams on this?
Yeah, I've spoken at the Azure Cloud Summit. So it was from
Amazing,
Azure.
amazing.
Yeah, I've talked about GitHub and VS Code, like using a external like for example, if you are using a VM, how can you use that using your VS Code, like linking that so that your workloads run on the VS Code hosted on that VM, so that you don't use a lot of memory and all this from your local computer if your local computer is weak. So yeah, only one big one.
Nice, nice,
Uh,
nice. It's cool.
coming through yeah coming through there are a lot of features alongside, like you can use external load balancers. So load balancers are like, suppose a lot of people are pinging the application, so it
Really?
helps you to balance the load across various servers or various pods in according to Kubernetes, so that your every pod has a limited CPU usage and all things are balanced. So you can just apply this using a click, and then you have a restriction for default namespace so that anyone has in the kubeconfig file can't access the namespace. And yeah,
Mm, nice.
the
Interesting. I see
next
some
part,
Azure. Yeah, I see here some Azure file or add registry. Here is the setup Kubernetes
yeah,
feature.
so this application is deployed on Azure AKS. So you can see
Hmm.
this, but if you're deploying that to something else, then this would be different.
Yeah.
But yeah, you,
What is EKS? I know that, but
okay,
I know the
yeah.
answer, but
So AK is Azure Kubernetes Service. So it's a managed Kubernetes offering from Azure. So you can just go and click and create a Azure Kubernetes service, and you can use your applications to deploy things over there. It's quite easy, and it costs a bit of money, but everything on cloud is costly. But yeah, that's it. If you want a production level
Yeah,
environment on cloud, which
yeah.
can be accessed by everyone.
Yes, I think the best solution is to get hired at some companies which uses them and they give you a free account so you can experiment a bit
Yeah,
with
I get
them. And then,
150 bucks per month to experiment with AKS. So yeah, that's the thing why I deploy things on AKS. Like in
yes,
your solution is the way to go.
nice, nice. Okay, yes. Let's keep
So yeah,
let's keep going. See here there are cluster registries, environment registries. You can
yeah,
add some of them. I see Docker Hub
yeah.
here.
So yeah, Docker for your images. So right now, Portainer has a lot of options. For example, you
Mhm.
can add Docker Hub, Azure Container Registry, GitLab Container Registry, or your custom private registry with authentication, so that it becomes easy for you to pull images, and you don't need to authenticate every time you are using some new registry. For example, if you have authentication tokens and all those, you can link here and log in, and then you can deploy application on the application page without again logging in. So it just caches the registry authentications and keeps them to themselves, so that whenever you need to deploy things, it's easy and it's just one-time registration over here.
Nice, nice, perfect. So here are the settings. Yes, let's take a look also at the rest. Let's see here licenses,
And now we
um,
have authentication logs.
logs. So
Suppose,
yes,
yeah, it is very important because you need to see if someone is trying to hack into your account. So someone tried with the wrong password here at this time. So if you see a lot of attempts, so you can change those things and you can change your password. So yeah, it's very important for security because a lot of brute forces attack are available right now, and you need to make sure your main dashboard is secure.
nice. This is very nice.
Yeah,
Perfect, perfect. See a failure, but that's okay. So let's check.
yeah.
Let's check the rest.
Yeah, right.
See.
And then we have a snapshot interval. Suppose you have a Docker image and your Kubernetes cluster or your Docker host is running that. So this helps you to uh, pull the image at a specific amount of time. And you can also use a custom logo over here. For example, if you are using some for your company, you can click here and you
Okay.
can just
Yes.
use a custom logo.
For some companies it's very important because, for example, if they want to expose this to someone else who doesn't even know what Portainer is, they can show their own logo. So this is nice. I don't know if
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
just for the business edition,
No,
not for the, but it's okay. Then I
yeah,
see Helm repository. You can configure some stuff here. Force
yeah.
HTTPS only. Mm,
For
nice.
security, and you can also set your kubeconfig expiry. So if you want to authenticate using in Kubernetes, you need the kubeconfig file. So you can set this for expiry date so that it becomes secure and it expires in specific amount of date, so that if it's leaked, even it not get misused. So it's a very good feature.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice.
and then this is a force HTTPS only, so that you have a secure TSL kernel, SSL with SSL certificate, so that yeah, you can upload your certificate. For
Hmm.
me, it hasn't been uploaded yet right now, but yeah, you can do this.
Nice, nice. So I see there are many features here. There is also a
And
backup feature. We store in
yeah,
S3. What is S3?
so simple storage solution from Amazon. So I think I've told the full form wrong, but yeah, it's a bucket in which you can store your Azure.
Stuff.
Like yeah, you can, it's just a cloud storage in which from AWS, where you can store your Portainer backup and configuration. So whenever you open Portainer into a new application, you can download that thing automatically and it will restore your session as it's there. And you can also protect your backup using a password protection, which is important, so that if someone gets hold of your backup, they don't misuse that. So yeah.
Nice, nice. So this is very nice. Yes, do you have authentication and help about? So so that's
Yeah,
it.
without yeah, and this is for the Kubernetes thing. And suppose if you want to manage Docker, then there are a lot more features for Docker and Docker Swarms, like cleaning images and all those things. So this is just Kubernetes focused because we have a Kubernetes node running right
Mm,
now. And then the most awesome part is licenses. So right now, Portainer is running a special event called Portainer 5 free nodes, in which you can get 5 business nodes for license, and you can get all those features for free. Specifically, all those application deployment and Helm namespaces features are already free in the community edition. But suppose you want advanced features like authentication uh, and custom logo, so then you need that. And Poten is right now offering 5 free notes, which you have the link in the description, which you can get there, and
mhm,
you can use that for your management of Kubernetes. And
mhm.
good part is like it's very much governance certified and security also. And you also get support, very quick support from Portainer if you are need help in deploying application. So yeah, 5 free nodes
Yeah.
means 5 free nodes on Kubernetes, and it will
Mhm.
help you to do a lot more experimentation quickly.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, I think that yeah, Portainer has been one of my favorite tools, even before, even before doing live streams, even before even using Twitter. I don't know. There was there was a time when I was, I think 2 years ago, I had zero online presence, so I had no Twitter. I was just doing some Docker stuff with Portainer and Kubernetes. So uh, what I think that what I think is that a tool like this can really help you to get started, especially to get started, to have a very more visual approach, because otherwise it can get intimidating, and then you can deep dive into everything. So it's important it's important to understand the things. So once you understand, or maybe you have an idea, then if you're curious, you can check everything. For example, let's make a very fast example. From this, I see that there is that Helm. So you say, okay, so what's Helm? Because otherwise, you should check this from some YouTube videos, some YouTube tutorials, and you can check that probably. But it's important to have an idea and also to be fast, because there is the risk when you use a new technology. This happened to me, that you really don't get that, and you stop using that, and that will be a shame, because in the future, I think that in the future, things like Portainer will be used more, because we will
Makes you
go
efficient.
we will go into a step. Of course, it will be more efficient, but we will go into a phase when containerization will be given for granted. So we will not even talk more about containerization. I'm talking about like in 5 years, 10
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
We are, yeah. Before, let's go back on the operating system example. I remember when Windows 1, Windows, yeah, 1 has been released, everyone was talking about the new amazing features of the UI, of the GUI, how you can create a directory without typing a command. Now this is for granted, so we're not explaining this anymore.
Mm.
But if you take this, if you understand now the concepts of containerization, and also you understand now how things like Portainer they work, this will be great for you in the future, because you at least you will have some the basics. Because I think that in 10 years we will no more talk about the very very basics of containerization. Neither me, because that will be a concept clear to everyone. Today I made a poll. Even if I talk about Docker all day long, a lot of people they just need to get started to containerization, so they are at beginner level or to Jon Snow level, which is like I know nothing. So and we should change this, because I see that there are a lot of technologies which really go and come, but even Docker can change in the future. There are other containerization technologies, but the concepts, the ideas, they are going to stay for long.
Same.
So this is nice. Yeah, less than 2 years ago. I can show my stats of 2 years ago, and like one tweet and yeah, it's because I was more focused on this. So this has nothing to do with what you do. You can be very good. Probably I've coded less because I stayed to much more time on Twitter and social media. But yes, so yes, what is this that you are showing here before
Yeah.
Portainer
Okay.
Roga?
Yeah, so these are the images. Like it's not images for Docker. It's kind of images for your Kubernetes from Helm charts. We call this, and you can just click and deploy those things very easily. Just you click here and you deploy. You don't need to find the repository and click here. So it's very intuitive for me, and it just does the
Nice.
work very easily. So the main part of DevOps, like you don't need fancy things. You need things so that you can just get the job done as soon as possible in a most efficient manner. And for me, Portainer has been that thing which helps me to do the job efficiently. Yeah, and
Yes, exactly. Can really help you to if you're focused on something else, because of course everything came down by scratch. You can also use vanilla JavaScript instead of React or instead of Nest.js. You can do this. The problem is that these sort of things, first of all, you need time to do this if you want to create something like this or if you want to automate that. The second thing is that a lot of people have worked on this. I don't know if you know this, but Portainer is an open source project. Let me find that on the GitHub. And so a lot of people have worked on this. They have found the problems. They solved many many issues. Portainer is actually more than 20
thousand
thousands of
stars.
keys on the GitHub. So this should mean something. So this for sure, it means something. It means that a lot of people have used that, have put their eyes on these repositories. So yeah, supposing that we all have two eyes, more or less, about 40,000 eyes, more or less. Of course, I'm joking. But yes, and this can yeah, help you to have an idea, and a lot of people are using this. I've also noticed that many people they use this during a live stream. I've also used this in some live streams. I'll use this way more in the future, but be smart and use React and Node.js instead of vanilla JavaScript. Yeah, this is the same exact concept. So because the fundamentals are fundamental. This is one of my best quotes. So of course, it's not mine, but I like that. Um, I think that you can have really the best if you use something advanced and you also know the basics. So if you know this, you are really unstoppable. So if you're using Portainer and you know the commands, for example, following me or asking me, you can really become unstoppable because you get the best of both the worlds. So you get the solid understanding and the usability. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is more usable. The same, yeah, the same. It's
it makes you efficient and makes you focus on the things that are important by tackling the things which are then that much in a easier manner.
yeah,
Like for example, if you want to deploy Kong, it's and then I can just go and click and deploy this thing without going and focus on my application, which will use Kong as a middleware in comparison to understanding how to deploy Kong and how to configure. I can just focus on the business logic, which is the most important thing because you want to deliver value to your users, right? And DevOps is a way to deliver value to your users because they get more reliable things, more scalable things, which can serve a lot of people.
yes. And for example, this is one of the reasons why I really like DevOps and Docker because it helps you to be agnostic. For example, containerization. Docker really changed my approach to programming and tech because Um, I really didn't. I like that there is some diversity in operating system, but once you, if you, for example, now you code, now I'm coding on a Windows machine. Can you mute your microphone? Now that I mute, now that I've worked on a, let me put this
Where
here.
is my
Just one
mouse?
second. I've lost. Okay. My okay, my mouse just died, so I need to change a battery. This is the first time that happens during a live stream. Can you stay for 30 seconds?
Yeah, sure,
Can you
sure.
hold my, yeah, you are the boss of my live stream. I'll be
Yeah,
back soon. Just one second.
yeah.
Sorry,
Till
but
then, if you have any
otherwise I
questions,
can't
you can
use that.
ask.
Just one second.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew that this would have happened more or less before. Yeah, the problem is that usually I leave my computer on during the the nights, and so the battery discharged very fast. Okay, okay, it works. Now it works. Perfect was the battery. Yeah. So yes. So there we go. Nice. But have you changed the? Have I changed this? Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Nice. So we are at the end of this live. I really enjoyed this. Thank you, Hrittik. This has been a very great explanation of a lot of things that we can do on Portainer. And I still need to install in the Windows 11, but okay, because I'm doing some stuff. And nice. So perfect. I like this. I like the that you have the terminal. I like that Portainer allows you. Do we have a container here? Can we go on a single container?
Yeah, we have a running container which is hosting this application, like the application which we saw. So let's go there.
I mean, no. Can you go? Can you go on the containers?
Okay, like like for example, we are using. Let me note. Yeah, we
Hmm.
are using one container over here, which is Hrittik slash Portainer dot latest, the latest tag. So this is a container we are using.
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah. Can we try to step into that? Where is the container? Can
or
you go
like you
into
want
the?
to talk about how?
Now you are using Kubernetes, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
we are right now using Kubernetes. So it's running on Kubernetes, the image, but we can see that image on
No, I
Docker Hub
just wanted
also.
to try if we can step into the container, like a
Oh,
Docker exec or something like that, with kubectl or whatever.
no, I think we can't do this because it's running on pods. So
Okay, no problem.
yeah, yeah. Maybe we can do this, but I'm not sure how to do that right now because it's running on pods, right? So yeah, it's running on pods and using a load balancer so that we can access the application on that link which we have provided on the chat. So yeah,
Mm,
so
nice,
that's the thing.
perfect, perfect. So let's go here. Let's go
And
back here.
and
Do you
if
have
you want
something else that
to
you want to show?
delete the application, it's just going
Let's
and
do
clicking
this.
here
See, yes,
and click on remove and click remove. It will take
nice.
30 40 seconds or less than the brightest, and you can't access the link anymore.
I like that there is also the advanced bar there.
Yeah,
It's nice.
it's happening.
Nice. Yeah, and of course we get questions like this. You are right. You are right, Avnish. what is a pod, Hrittik?
So
Can you try to
yeah, so
explain in
So a pod is a
30
basic unit
seconds?
of
Okay.
Kubernetes. So you can understand pod is a basic unit of Kubernetes in which there can be a lot of container images. Like you can have one container images, two container images, or like the basic one people try to use only one. But yeah, you can have that, and Kubernetes manages that thing. Suppose, for example, if you have four pods and if your traffic is increasing, then you can run up more pods so that your traffic is configured easily and a lot of traffic is gone through efficiently in all of the
Hmm.
pods. So yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
container, but it can has a lot more images in it. So it's a basic unit of Kubernetes.
Exactly, exactly. This is what I was about to explain. By the way, you are not a noob, Avnish, but this is a good opportunity to talk about more about the DevOps world. And of course, the more you dig, the more you find. This is the same with front end. This is the same with back end. So you are digging into the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
So yes, but I think that if this is a very good way to see. For example, if you are curious about this, you start digging them. If you are not curious, I'm not curious. For example, in all the like shiny features of Tailwind CSS, I can just use this as at a very top level, and I
one more
and I
thing.
and I am happy enough. So this is a good sign. It's a good sign that you choose what you like and what you don't like. Yes, a pod is a single, let's say, a single unit for Kubernetes. It usually has just one container, but this can also have multiple containers. It depends
Yeah,
on your needs. So it's
yeah, like
how Kubernetes thinks, we can say. Does it
yeah,
thinks? Because it has some declarative approach. So we can say that Kubernetes thinks sometimes. It's smart.
yeah. For
Yeah, I'm
example,
just learning
if
DevOps. No problem.
you
You have
can
plenty of time.
you can have a pod with a, like for example, with a container and a sidecar in it which will help you to deploy and manage things in service mesh like Istio. Yeah, you
Nice.
can have a lot of
Yes, for
things.
yes, for example, you can have some utility containers in the same. If it makes sense to you, this is just a structure to help you with deployment. So
One more thing Avinish can do is like he can install Portainer and go through one feature one by one so that he can explore that in depth, maybe through documentation, because it has a lot of commonly used features which people use. So it will be helpful for him to understand like what is namespaces, what is Helm applications. Yeah,
yes,
I learned
yes.
a bit using that.
Yeah, and by the way, if you want, Ritik, we can also. What I would like to do, if you want to come another time, another next month, you can be my guest as many times as you want, or I can come on your YouTube channel if you want. We can try to
Yeah,
bootstrap that a bit if you want. We can
yeah,
make this.
yeah, sure.
Mm, I think the only thing that we have been missing today, but of course for time reasons, maybe we can try to do this from scratch. So we also code the application during the live stream. So you
Yeah,
see the
that's
whole process. That would be awesome. Don't you think
yeah,
so?
because people would be very interested to know how to use GitHub Actions to deploy on Docker Hub, and that would be a nice thing
Mhm.
which we
Yeah,
can
of
do.
course. Yeah, and of course, this has been just the first our first collaboration with Hrittik. So were more focused on talking about the 5 nodes feature that you can have. There is the link in description. But we can also try, if you want, next time to show the whole process. So from zero, even with the installation of Portainer, we do
Yeah, yeah,
everything from scratch, and then
that
you will
sounds like a good
see.
plan.
I think a good thing would be also to try to code something together with the people in the chat. Like we change something, we put something. I don't know. We do something.
Mm-hmm.
We can do
Yeah, yeah.
Python, JavaScript, whatever. We put our faces. I don't know, something crazy, and then we create the image. Then we deploy them. So I think we can do this in 1 hour. Maybe in two we can try to do this. This time
Yeah,
we had already GitHub repository because it was also our first live stream together. So now that we are warmed up, we can try to do this if you agree, of course.
of course, I'm down. It's exciting. Like,
Perfect, nice, perfect. Okay, so we are on about 1 hour. So I really enjoyed this stream. Thank you for showing all the Portainer dashboard. We have a lot of features, so nice, very nice, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go back here. Hrittik. Usually I stay on the other side. Let me go on the other side. This is my place. Joking. Um, nice. So thank you again, and I think that we will collaborate together again if you want, of course. And yes, you have been explaining and showing us all the potential things of Portainer, Kubernetes, and Docker. And yes, would you like to add something before we close this?
Yeah, if you have any questions, you can just ping me on Twitter. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, let
And
me share
thanks for having
again.
me. Thanks for having me,
Yeah,
Francisco. It
you.
was
By the way,
awesome.
you went great. You have been way better than me or my very first live stream. And do you know that my very first live stream it was a webinar. I've been invited by Danny Thompson. I don't know if you know him. I've been invited by Danny Thompson on a webinar about Docker on Google Developer Group Memphis. So it was amazing. By the way, yes, show some love to him, and yes. So that's it. We're done for today.
And thanks for having me. It
Enjoy.
was awesome.
Nice, nice. So you everything went almost right. The only thing that I had to change the battery of my mouse, but it's okay. It's okay. Perfect. Done. Okay. Bye
Bye bye.
bye. Bye bye.